Hey everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Romantasy Roundtable, a tale of Rick and Roses. My name is Rick, and I'm joined with my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
And Bartholomew, not Bartholomew, the other one, Mort. You can hear him in the background at times because he sounds very loud. But as always, we would always appreciate it if you consider liking this video. Please, please, please take one extra second, hit that subscribe button. It really helps at the channel. And you can always reach out to us at romantasyroundtable@gmail.com. That is our email. Or you can make a comment in the comments below, just like our biggest fan, Rebecca Brown, who says, and I quote, "Ricardo is hilarious." And you know what, Rebecca? You're right. Factually correct. I am hilarious. So if you
now I hear Mort.
There he is.
Mort is now
because Mort is like, Rebecca is right. He's a stand for Rebecca, who is our biggest fan. So Rebecca, if you shoot me an email, I'm sending you an Amazon gift card because I can be bought.
Or you can just send her a sticker.
I take care
and
of
also, Rebecca, the rest of us are pretty cool too.
I take care of my fans. And our other good friend, Jamie Dawes.
Jamie, we haven't recorded in so long. Jamie, I've missed you.
He says, "Ow."
He also likes many of our Goodreads updates. You can follow us on Goodreads too, if you're listening.
Yeah.
We're all, I don't know how to find us, but we're there.
Kim, he's pretty loud.
He's eating right now, so he's doing that.
So if you're listening to this, that is not actually bad sound quality. It's a cat.
A cat who is perfectly healthy other than his asthma.
Right. Very asthmatic. Incredibly asthmatic.
He's happy and healthy. He just makes a lot of noise.
He is happy and healthy, and also he and Bartholomew are coexisting in the same space.
I'm so happy for them. Socket is behind me if you're watching. There she is.
Oh, there she is.
She's in her podcast studio. Get it, Paw?
Mm-hmm.
Podcast.
I'm currently surrounded. I have Bartholomew on the windowsill. I have Mort behind my computer. And I have 2 dogs lying down next to me.
Wow. That's almost a zoo.
In a small space. And unlike Mort, who is happy and healthy, I am clearly not healthy. For those of you listening to this, I have caught Amanda, patient 0, European cold that came back from Germany, Austria. And yeah, I've caught all the things this week. I had the history department, like 36 hours of fever situation. I had Rick's stomach bug. And now I got the Europe cold.
Sorry. I had it. It was quick when I had it in Europe, but I might be patient 0. We also have a student who might be patient 0, and I would much rather blame him, but it's okay.
We'll blame the student.
So this is the first time we're recording together in like a month. Anyone who's listening or watching, you would notice that because we spaced it out correctly. But
have we recorded separately in the last month?
What?
You said this is the first time we're recording together. Have we recorded separately?
Let me finish my thoughts. See, now my thought's gone. It's gone. You see what you did? You see? Why? That's right. Bow your head in shame. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. But we're reading Furybound.
We've recorded together in like a month.
Yeah. So we're reading Furybound because that just came out this week. Oh, look, my Walmart home delivery is on the way, guys. Don't worry. Looks right there. It popped up. What? I got groceries. Do you not get your groceries from Walmart home delivery?
No, I'm really happy for you and your groceries.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
All right. So we finished Direbound, and we are reading Furybound, which came, depending on when you're listening to this, came out this week or last week. The 4th? No, the 5th.
It came out less than a week ago when we're recording and when we're posting.
Amanda made us read half of the book for one episode.
I didn't mean to. So what I do is I take the pages and I take the chapters and I divide them by however many sections we're doing. And then I try to divide them up as evenly as I can, both for pages and chapters. And I started doing the math, but this week has been excruciating at work for, I think,
everyone.
2 out of the 3 of us for very different reasons. Rick's chilling, but the other 2 of us are struggling.
That's not true. I take a lot of like strays.
Yes, you are. No, I don't mean that you like. Rick is obviously experiencing a lot of empathy for the 2 of us and is really trying to take some of the burden off of us. However, Rick's professional life is chilling right now, but our professional lives have been hectic this week.
I've been playing a lot of Diablo.
Correct. Exactly.
Let me finish my thought. So I tried to do a lot of math, and then I gave up on the math and was like, whatever, 61 chapters, we'll do 1 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 61, and 1 to 20 was 40% of the book.
That's right. We're doing great. So we read half the book, but there we go. So we're starting our episode Furybound, or series of Furybound, yeah. And this is by Sable and Sorensen. And it is a direct continuation from Direbound. Like, it picks up seconds after the last book, which I was a little surprised about, honestly. I don't know. Like, it literally is like the next chapter.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. Why were you surprised?
I don't know. I thought it'd be like at least a couple days. I don't know. I didn't think it would be like directly right after.
I really like when books do that, though.
I do. I was just not surprised. Same thing happened with Birds of a Feather, Part 2.
Shield of Sparrows.
Yeah.
Crown.
And also, like, Direbound ended really sort of abruptly on a big cliffhanger. So
yeah.
I think they had to start up right where it left off. Because there was we were like literally in the middle of things happening when that book cut off. Sorry, Mort just has to hang out with me, so we're just going to listen to him breathe this whole episode.
All right.
I love it. All right, chapter 1. Meryn is grappling with some seriously dark, emotion-fueled shadow magic while dealing with the ultimate nightmare. Her little sister, Selah, has been turned into a bloodthirsty Siphon. After Selah nearly rips out Helene's throat, Stark's wolf Kratos and Anasa have to pin the super-strong tween down. Making the hardest choice ever, Meryn agrees to chain her sister up and throw her back in the dungeons, where Leader Aldrich prescribes a strict diet of elk blood to keep her alive. Meryn finally passes out on a dusty pallet, only to have a creepy shadow dream before rudely waking up to her traitorous ex, Killian, telepathically broadcasting to the entire kingdom that she's a usurper. I love the word usurp.
Yeah, they use it a lot too, actually. I don't know. I guess what I like is... Yeah, we heard him. She takes
and I can't turn my mic on because all you're going to hear is Mort, not me.
That's really funny. So, I mean, yes, we've read these books basically back to back, like within a week. But I really like the way that they're sort of catching you up on the first book without pausing the plot. Dungeon Crawler Carl realized that he didn't do a good job recapping the story in like book 6, and like the first chapter is literally just a recap, and he does it really funny. It's like a previously on, but they did a really good job here. Like the first chapter or 2 is just sort of catching us up while just weaving it into the story.
Yeah, I always really appreciate that. I know that like we didn't read Direbound when it came out. Right. We actually were holding it so that we could read them back to back. I don't think we were aware of it when it first came out, but we were like aware of it before a month ago. I appreciate this catch up because I finished Direbound. We finished Direbound like 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've lived a lifetime in the last 3 weeks because I went to Germany with 40 children. But I'm just like, I'm so grateful for the catch up. It's helpful. I think more books should do that.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Yeah, we finished it like 3 weeks ago, maybe a little less than 3 weeks ago. But like me and Annie were talking about it, and I was like, "What are their names again?" So it was good.
Chapter 2. Killian goes full propaganda machine using a cursed ruby bracelet to hijack Meryn's magic and broadcast twisted memories of her killing King Cyril to every bonded in Nocturna. Refusing to let her lying ex win, Meryn marches out to the arena in her filthy dungeon dress and forcefully connects her minds to the masses, showing them the unfiltered truth about the Siphons and the Brightbane curse. It sort of works, with Sovereign Alpha Sigrid pledging support and Meryn's friends dropping to one knee. But the victory is short-lived when Jonah gives a misogynistic speech, calling her a whore, draws his sword, and sparks a massive, bloody riot. Jonah fucking Barlow.
Jonah's the fucking worst, man. I have that somewhere in my notes for later. That I can't wait for this dude to die. And it better be good. Like,
he's just a menace. Like he's not even awful in a way that's like driving the plot. He just sucks.
yeah. He's like just.
I know. I'm like, what if he does get a redemption arc at some point?
No.
I mean, Jack Barlow starts to get his redemption arc.
I think it is more likely that he'll become like importantly evil rather than just a menace.
No.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's just like, just why?
There's like a level, right? Like, I did not like Dane, and his redemption arc was good, but I've always fucking hated Jack. You know, it's like
yeah.
that.
Well,
like,
and Jack's redemption arc isn't a redemption arc. It's just like you start to feel some empathy for him because he's like sort of dying but being kept alive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like he's still not he's not saving the world. Maybe he will in book 4, but
okay. But I think to your point, like he's evil with purpose, and so like
yeah,
he starts to have an integral role in the actual plot, and not just to be like the needler.
I think Jonah's purpose is to continually drive home the class divide, and to show like how deep the contempt for the commoners runs among the other classes. I don't feel like it's super necessary that we keep driving that home, but Jonah's not actually like a huge part of these chapters. He's just a huge part of the first couple.
Yeah, he kind of goes away.
Which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
So it is chapter 2 into chapter 3, and we are violent. In chapter 3, the arena instantly turns into a brutal battleground, and things start out terribly when a sneaky Kryptos rider knocks Meryn off her platform and steals her royal Stormfrost crown. Desperate to stop the civil war, Meryn plunges the legendary Direblade into the dirt, but Killian's corrupted magic shatters the sword into useless silver glitter. Luckily, Stark literally drops an archway on his enemies to get the crown back, but putting it on unleashes Meryn's untamed shadow magic. She accidentally chokes out and kills a dozen rebels with a massive wave of darkness, sending her into a horrified panic attack where she hides in Stark's office and punches the floor until she bleeds. 2 thoughts here. I like that we're getting morally gray everyone. We're not just getting morally gray male main character, like we're getting morally gray Meryn too, and I think that's cool. Shout out to like an official post from Sable Sorenson that used the phrase morally gray everyone, and I was like, oh yeah, that is what's happening. And also we had talked about that. We talked about this in the 3rd part of Direbound, but about Meryn's self-harm tendencies, and how we're like hopeful in how they're gonna treat this as like normalized but not normal. And so I appreciate that in this moment where she is clearly having panic attack, that we see Meryn turn to this like old unhealthy coping mechanism, and we see Stark interrupt it. I think that's like setting the tone for something that we kind of anticipated was going to happen in this book. So I thought it was well done.
And interrupt and acknowledges, and so I think that's like the important thing too. It wasn't like you must stop. It was like, no, like you need to channel this in another way.
Like I get what you're doing and why you think this is what you need to do, but that's not how to do it.
I also like that they broke the Direblade, because something happens how to explain this? Sometimes when like in superhero shows or movies, when a character gets too strong, you don't really know what to do with them.
Yeah.
So like if she could have controlled the whole pack, she was too strong. Like she, so this sort of makes her even again. In the show with the greatest first season of any show of all time, Heroes, what the main character eventually gets too strong, and they kind of like they don't know what to do with him. Like he's like God. So this was a smart move, I think.
I agree. I'm interested to hear how they're going to explain how it happened and how to fix it, because we don't know either of those things yet, and it's going to have to make sense for me to be glad it happened. I agree that like she needed to get a little nerfed, but like I don't really understand how the Direblade broke but the crown is intact.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Also, we're saying she got nerfed, but she didn't, because she now has all these new powers.
All the powers of all of the packs.
Right.
All right, so in chapter 4, we switch to Stark's POV. So Stark, the brooding alpha, cleans up the arena bloodbath before his wolf Kratos drops the mental wall and lets Meryn's agonizing emotional pain flood in. Stark sprints to his office to find Meryn smashing her fists onto the floor, so he manhandles her into hitting his chest instead while battling some serious unresolved sexual tension. Once she's calm, they meet with the intimidating castle matron Aelinor.
Yes.
I know it's in the pronunciation guide, but I just can't be bothered to go get that right now. To get Meryn set up in the Sovereign Alpha's chambers, casually revealing that Meryn knows absolutely nothing about being a queen. Stark leaves her with a stack of homework, deeply fighting the urge to worship his new, beautifully ruined regent. Stark is catching feelings.
He is, and one of the things that I think Sable and Sorensen do really well is I like a lot of the dialogue, especially with the wolves and stuff. So like
I could read a whole book of Stark and Kratos talking to each other.
right. So I took some. So instead of taking notes, I was highlighting stuff in my on my Kindle. So I think Kratos like had his like wall up with Anasa, and they were like whatever. And then like Stark says, Kratos. I hiss, closing my eyes at another hot rush of desire and protecting this. You're killing me here. Like stuff like that is really funny.
This happens later where he's like, stop that. And Kratos is like,
Not me,
Not me.
not me, dog.
It's not me, buddy. And he's like talking. I don't know. It's interesting because like I know we get some of the communication between some of the other riders and their dragons, like in Onyx Storm, but I think the fact that Stark and Kratos are both like kind of like dudeish dickheads,
Yeah,
is like it's really cool. Like that's not what we get from Xaden and Siegel. So I really appreciate that. That's like Scale is more of like a, I don't know. She's more of like, she is a menace, but she's like a little more
she's like a mom.
like, she's like a little more like a mom or an aunt, I would say. But Kratos is like, he's like your best bro.
Yeah,
And he's like picking on you for having a crush on his girlfriend's best friend.
yeah.
And it's like, it's cute.
Well, and I like too that, I mean, as you said, Sable and Sorensen had posted the idea of morally gray everyone. Because, I mean, we kind of see that with the wolves, and given wolves have different morality than humans or others may. But I think it's fun to see that come out also, where, like, you know, when there is violence, the wolves are like, fuck yeah. You know, like, they're, like, here for it. And so it's just, yeah, to see that intermingling come out in the dialogue, too, is great.
Something else that we start to see here is we didn't know anything about Stark's relationship with his mother in the first book, but we start to see he doesn't call her mom. He calls her by her first name. He was not raised by her, and so their relationship is, I would say, icy at best.
Yeah.
At least at this point in the book. All right, chapter 5. Meryn settles into her fancy new digs and finally has a heart-to-heart with Anasa, realizing her direwolf wasn't a jerk, just lonely from waiting centuries for her true rider. Feeling the love, Meryn officially recruits her besties, Isabel, Venna, Thomason, and Neva, to ditch the war front to be her interim royal advisors instead. Venna promises to figure out how to pry the cursed Siphon bracelet off Meryn's wrist, leaving our queen to get some much-needed sleep. Unfortunately, her dreams are hijacked by a shadowy realm where a very fanged, very gorgeous Killian shows up to tell her he misses her. Chapter 6. The Shadow Realm turns into the worst ex-boyfriend encounter ever as Killian tries to gaslight Meryn into ruling with him, blaming all the bad magic stuff on his ancient ancestor, Alistair Brightbane. Meryn tries to blast him with darkness, but Killian casually swats it away, grabs her chin, and promises to stalk her forever. Gross. She jolts awake in a sweaty panic to find a surprisingly comforting Stark hovering by her bed, though she lies and blames it on a simple nightmare. Refusing to go back to sleep, Meryn spirals over her epic imposter syndrome with Anasa until she gets the notification she's been waiting for. Sayla is awake. I want to talk about Killian a little bit because I was just listening to our previous episodes. And we kept saying things like, Rick kept saying things like, but Killian's actually done nothing wrong. And I know we know that isn't true at this point in the book. But I would like to state that a partner, but let's talk about men. A man doesn't need to be overtly abusive to be not a good partner.
Yeah, of course.
Totally. And so, like, as we're saying he's done nothing wrong, everything he's doing here, he showed us exactly who he was from day one. All of this, like, you deserve to be loved the way only I can love you, like, all of this love bombing bullshit, all of this, like, controlling, like, grabbing her face, like, that is who he's been the whole time. And we were just interpreting it as, like, shadow daddy alpha dominance when it has been him being low grade controlling forever and ever, and I will die on this hill.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it's more obvious now.
For sure. I'm just saying, one time I had a friend who had a really, really terrible boyfriend who was overtly abusive and awful. And we all told her she needed to break up with him. And she did. And then the next guy she dated was also not a very good partner. And she was really blinded by the fact that she had this, like, overtly abusive partner, that she was like, well, this guy's not that bad. He's not doing those things. And I'm like, no, he still sucks though. And so that's how I'm feeling about Killian. And it didn't dawn on me until I was listening to our last episode and listening to Rick be like, he's done nothing wrong. And me being like, I actually would argue that him proposing when she's in active grief and can't consent is the first overtly wrong thing he's done. And now I've decided to go back and just say, he's always been this guy and we should have seen it all along. And Meryn, I'm so sorry that I didn't tell you you deserved better from the jump.
Kim?
So when they're in this shadow realm dreamscape, wherever they end up having these meeting of the minds, Killian has referenced that Alistar can't be there with him, and so it is Killian. And I think in my head, I'm having difficulty sort of separating the fact that these are two distinct beings in Killian, because the fact that, like, where's the line of what has happened before was Killian versus what was Alistar? And if Alistar's really sort of, like, been in his body his entire life, like...
But he hasn't. He was in his father's body until his father died.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know. But I'm just, like, having, like, the influence, I guess, of Alistar. Or, like, is it really just that Killian was this bad to start? And it's not just about being a vessel for this?
That's where I am, too. So, like... Yes, Alistar came in when his father died, but Killian knew, like, he knew this was his fate. Like, he knew this was going to happen. And I'm not.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely been conditioned to be this guy.
I'm not defending him. He's the worst. Yada yada yada. I'm on board with you. I just don't like him said. I don't know how much of him. Like, there are sentences of things that he says where he's like, I didn't want this, you know, like, I'm wondering if we have, like, a king from Throne of Glass situation. I don't actually know yet.
I think that everything is a balance of nature and nurture, and both his nature and his nurture are fucked to be this person, right? Like, this is his descendant, or this is his ancestor. So he's got that in his blood, both, like, literally and figuratively. And also he was raised to know that this was his fate. But Alistar did not have the reins until at least halfway through the first book.
Yeah.
Potentially longer. We don't know exactly when the jump happened, because it did.
Oh, right, because it had to happen before, right?
It happened before the king was dead, but I think it happened when they made the plan to kill the king. Because that's when Alistar was like, all right, better get out now. I don't know. I just want to say that I think my close personal friend, Meryn Sturmfrost, deserved better all along. That's all I'm saying.
No, she did.
Absolutely.
She did. And I don't, yeah, go ahead. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I also, like, my unhinged theory is I think this Alistar thing is a red herring.
Okay. I'm open to it.
All right. Chapter 7. Meryn sprints down to the dungeons to find her sister awake, but it's utterly heartbreaking. Sayla is completely traumatized by her new fangs and begs Meryn to kill her. Channeling ultimate big sister energy, Meryn talks her down and gifts her their mom's opal necklace for a little protective boost. Leader Aldrich totally kills the vibe by warning them about a magical sire bond that could let Killian mind control the tween vampire, prompting Meryn to immediately move Sayla into her own royal suite for 24/7 observation. Actually, it was Anasa's idea, which I thought was precious. Anasa is my favorite character. After a useless trip to the blacksmith regarding her cursed jewelry, Meryn ends the day staring at her sleeping sister, vowing to find a cure no matter what. I have seen every episode of this chapter before.
I hear Mort. They say something in this chapter that I highlighted that I have big, like, wait, hold on. And that thing is, when they're talking about Killian, they say, we don't know for sure that he's the one who turned her.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is there someone else?
It's a really good point. And she keeps, throughout this whole section, she keeps saying, like, I don't hear Killian, calm down.
Right.
But she doesn't say I don't hear anybody.
Right.
Does she?
So.
And thank you for saying it. That was totally my thought, too. I was like, this isn't Killian. This
right.
is somebody else.
So.
And I know that, like, sire bonds are, like, actual vampiric lore and not, like, romantasy vampiric lore, but I find them really boring. But, like, I guess when you're dealing with vampires, you, like, kind of have to include it. But I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So that would make it more interesting to me if the sire was not Killian.
I don't think it is. I don't know. Like, I don't know Sable and Sorensen personally like you do. But, like.
I only know one of them. But I won't tell you which one I know. Sable or Sorensen.
But you've said, that Sarah J. Maas does things purposely. And I'd like to think that they said this for a reason.
I agree. Yeah. And like I said, like, I don't find sire bonds boring because they wrote sire, but like I just find the concept boring. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not interested in them. All right. Chapter 7. Nope, we did that. Chapter 8. While playing guard dog outside Meryn's room, Stark battles his own unhinged mate bond lust after catching her in a silk nightgown. His frustratingly immaculate mother, Sovereign Alpha Sigrid, there we go, crashes his pity party and casually suggests they murder Meryn to install a more compliant Sayla on the throne instead. Kratos immediately attacks Sigrid's direwolf, Genikos?
Yeah, that's how I've been saying it.
Forcing the manipulative matriarch to quickly pivot her strategy. She instead demands that Stark woo and marry the new queen to control her, leaving Stark fighting the urge to strangle his own mother. Speaking of things that I find boring, I am fascinated by the relationship between Sigrid and Stark.
Yeah.
I'm so into it. She's so, like, strict, man. She's so direct.
She delivers a line that I fucking loved. I guess his first when they're like, we'll kill her. And then, like you said, what's his name? Kratos fucking tries to kill this thing. And then she doubles back and and then she says, well, she's powerful and relatively attractive. You could do worse. I'm like, that's really funny.
It's like the way that and we see it a little bit in terms of the nobles too, the way that they treat their children as like property basically is gross, but interesting to me.
Well, I will say, and you said this in the last chapter where you were like, Amanda, you said, I read this chapter before. And this, I was immediately like, okay, so this is Violet's mom in Fourth Way of having, the strong mother with the somewhat out of whack power dynamic relationship with their child. And also, like, in these set of chapters, like, she's set up for us to not really understand her intentions fully of like why she's doing what she's doing. And I'm really curious to see, is she actually like a bad guy, or is this like setting her up to be what Violet's mom ended up being, in kind of like the martyr who, like,
That's interesting. Yeah.
The other great line, again, I'm here for wolf dialogue. It's with Kratos again. He says, you would probably get to see her naked. Kratos hopefully chimes in, one more word out of you, and I'll have you kenneled.
It's so good. they're just bros.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Doesn't Stark say something when he storms out of the room and he says something really good? Where he basically like tells his mom to go fuck herself, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, he says something at the end where he's like, "Oh, by the way,
that Sayla is a vampire."
Yeah, so get fucked. Like,
yeah. It was good. It was really good. All right. Chapter 8, while playing guard dog outside Meryn's room, Stark battles his own unhinged mate bond lust after... Wait, did I read that already? Yes. Chapter 9, Meryn gets dolled up in her royal Sturmfrost crown for a wildly tense welcome dinner, only to be instantly threatened by the stunningly gorgeous half-noble Noemi, throwing herself into Stark's arms.
Noemi.
I looked that one up.
Thank you.
Sigrid completely dismisses Meryn's desire to hunt down Killian herself, assigning the task to Alpha Tormund and demanding the coronation happen in 3 weeks. To make matters worse, Stark and Noemi are ordered to embark on a diplomatic road trip to bully the fiefdom?
Wait.
Kim?
I say fiefdom, but
all right.
The fiefdom nobles into attending. Meryn spends the rest of the night suffocating on her own violent jealousy, deeply regretting ever noticing how incredibly hot Stark looks in formal wear. And this is the moment where I was like, yeah, but Noemi's gay.
Oh.
Because that's the only way this ends.
Okay.
We get a hint at it in like 3 chapters also. But immediately I clocked her and I was like, that's fucking, what's her name? Morrigan.
All right.
Cool.
Anyway, I'll die on that hill too. But I also think Morrigan's a redhead, even though she's not. So, all right. Chapter 10, Stark arrives at Meryn's disgustingly messy chambers to give her the traditional kill mark tattoos for the bondage she slaughtered in the arena. The tension skyrockets when Meryn exposes her ribs for the ink, and Stark completely abandons his broody alpha facade to trace the fresh runes with his tongue. He practically devours her skin, sending Meryn into a delirious haze where she tangles her fingers in his hair and traces his hidden jaw scar. They end up locking in a scorching electric stare down, both silently daring the other to cross the line and make the worst mistake of their lives. I loved that we got this from Stark's perspective, because we've gotten other tattoo scenes from hers. And so I thought that was fun. I also love that Meryn's rooms are a mess.
Oh my God, she's so messy.
I love her. And she's like, I know where everything is. It's fine.
You sure do love her.
I love her.
Yep.
It's not your office. You could leave.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. You did, actually.
She also says that she never had this many possessions before, and now she's like collecting more and more things. So I appreciated that part of it.
I'm messy because people keep giving me paper, and I don't want it. But get excited because I'm bringing so much crap into school tomorrow. Because it's Spirit Week. Wow, you both just made the same face.
Yeah, we did.
Wow. Well,
I'll be working from home. Have at it.
Great. All right, chapter 11. Stark abruptly ends their steamy moment, leaving Meryn alone to spiral over his departure and suffer through a brutal training session with Sigrid. While learning to navigate the bonded communication network, Meryn realizes Killian is actively broadcasting his usurper propaganda to the Pax. Channeling her sheer stubbornness, Meryn and Anasa shove an impenetrable iron mental wall through the network, agonizingly, forcing the Siphon out of their collective minds. Despite the victory, Meryn is left terrified when a depressed Sayla swears she isn't hearing Killian's Sirebond whispers, leaving our queen wondering if she can even trust her own sister. I don't like that she is feeling manipulated by Sayla. But I do think I like the idea. I like your theory that she's lying by omission, that she doesn't hear Killian.
Yeah.
But that's because Killian didn't sire her. I like that better than Meryn just being like, can I even trust her?
Well, I mean, she's right for thinking that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't know. Particularly, like, she's 11, you know? Like, this is an innocent child. And so, yeah, I don't really like the questioning part of it either.
Is this where we find out all of the powers?
No?
Okay. All right, chapter 12. Out on their noble threatening tour, Stark and Noemi arrive at the gaudy Eisenfall castle, where the local lord immediately disrespects Meryn's royal claim. When a drunk cousin starts spewing misogynistic garbage about Noemi and the new queen, she says, or the cousin says, like, have you gotten between her, or has she spread her legs for you yet? I know you like me.
Okay.
Just saying. I think that's why she was excommunicated. I think it's a Morrigan situation. But also, I don't know. We just don't have any queer characters yet. And it's Romantasy, so we need one. That's all. Stark casually uses his impelling magic to smash the man's head into a tapestry like a ripe melon. The casual murder successfully secures the noble's attendance, but it also violently rips open the mental mate bond between Stark and Meryn. Meryn immediately scolds him through their mind link for his homicidal diplomacy, prompting a defensive Stark to slam his mental shields right back down. Loved it.
Couple things. I do think you're right. I think she's gay because that would be, I mean, it would make sense with Meryn being like, oh my God, she's with him. She's always sleeping with him. And then later he'll be like, dude, she's gay. Stop. So that makes sense. I also really liked here when she comes in, Meryn comes in and yells at Stark and he's like, bro, don't worry. Yeah, I killed someone, but he wasn't important.
So good. Do they have their moments? Yeah, so this is like before Stark and Noemi arrive at the castle, they're like camping together. I don't know if that's now or earlier or later, but I want to talk about it. So I'm just going to talk about it.
Yeah,
now.
you might as well go into the powers because I don't know when that happens.
Okay, so Stark and Noemi grew up together. They were both raised essentially in this like foster home, where Noemi is, her dad is a noble and her mom was bonded. And her mom died in battle. But it was like a calculated situation where the noble was like, yeah, well, I like wanted a bonded like in my collection, basically. But like I wasn't interested in raising her. That's not my child. We don't claim bastards, he says later. And Stark, because his mother also intentionally had an offspring and then like immediately went back to the front, was also raised in this home. So they were like raised together. So I think the love we're seeing there is more of like a brother-sister situation, which again would make sense, especially if Noemi is gay.
Well, and Stark also says, like, as we're learning sort of this backstory, that he had basically anointed himself as her protector growing up. And so, yeah, it very much is like the big brother, little sister relationship.
Yeah.
And we also learned that like Noemi's dad is awful. And so he's on like wife number 8. And after every other wife has given him a child, he's had them killed.
Yeah.
And he even asks like when Noemi and Stark like show up in front of him, and he says, "How is your mom?" And she responds with something like, "She's still dead."
Still dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. I'll talk about the powers. So each pack has its own power. So the Strategos pack, which is the one Meryn is from, has this like foresight mind meld. They can see the battle as it's happening before it happens. The Deimos we know has this like wind situation. The Kryptos has this like hidden shadow situation, and then I don't remember what the force like those shield guys have.
Yeah.
Oh, they make shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can make shields. Socket, stop. My bonded direwolf has something to say. Yeah, so we learn that the queen and the sovereign alpha have the powers of all the packs. And they also have this additional shadow bending power. Shade bending. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so she has to learn how to use all of them. And because she's the queen, she has them all but like kicked up a notch. So like she has like the Strategos like pack mentality thing, or like pack perception thing, but also she can see further into the future, but the future is not fixed, so it's not reliable. Things like that.
And also everybody's powers are now stronger than they were now that she is back on the rightful heirs on the rightful throne.
And also Killian has access to some of her power through the bracelet.
Right.
Did I miss anything about powers?
No.
Chapter 13?
Yes.
Meryn's shade-bending practice is interrupted by the arrival of the creepy Mother Priestess, who aggressively handles the royal crown and identifies its opal as a legendary goddess tier. After failing the priestess's religious purity test, Meryn and her besties head into the bonded city to investigate her cursed Siphon bracelet and the shattered dire blade, learning absolutely nothing helpful. The trip goes fully off the rails when Meryn discovers her friends' families are threatening to defect to Killian, causing an enraged Anasa to viciously attack Thomason's direwolf in the streets. Back at the castle, a mildly revived Selah shows off their mother's glowing necklace, theorizing it may also be a goddess tier. Obviously it is. They're both opals. Yeah. And so this is showing us that like not all of the nobles are on board. So among the families of, she's got 4 friends, but 2 of them are twins. The twins' parents are like, all hail Queen Meryn. Thomason's parents
Yes. Are like, no.
are skeptical, or they're like, no.
I think they're skeptical leading no.
Thomason's parents are the skeptical ones, and then Neva's parents are like,
no.
Okay.
Or the other way around. I don't remember, but that's...
No, yeah, because Neva was like, my family may go to Ravenfrost. And Thomason's was like, you can't come into my house right now because they're just not really sure and it's not going to help.
Yeah. You could put any 2 nature-y words together and I would believe you that it's the name of a town in this book. Chapter 14, Stark returns to Sturmfrost after Kratos literally eats a noble's horse for making creepy comments about Meryn's upcoming naked coronation anointing. His homecoming is ruined when Sigrid formally orders him to marry the queen and immediately breed a superpowered royal heir so they can seize proxy control of the kingdom. Barely restraining his urge to assassinate his own mother, Stark storms over to Meryn's pigpen of a room and accidentally insults her haggard appearance. I don't think it was an accident.
No.
He was like, you look like shit.
Yeah.
To cover his tracks, he flirts outrageously about her rib tattoo right in front of Selah, dropping a vague promise to perform more services anywhere she wants before fleeing the room. Cedric, what do you think?
He's a wolf. No.
Right. I was going to say, no thoughts, just vibes.
No thoughts, just vibes.
So Stark says something that, I don't know, interesting. He's talking about his mother, I think. He says, I'm going to kill her. I have to kill her. It's the only way to keep Meryn and Nocturna safe. So I wonder if this is a red herring and if his mother is actually good and they're trying to throw us off the scent type of thing. Like how, I don't know.
I don't think she's good or bad. I think she, again, is a product of both her nature and her nurture.
Well, I guess.
And we don't really know much about, quote, the man who sired him, other than that he's dead. But I get the sense that there is something in Stark's nature and his nurture, because he was raised in this foster home, that is tempering this, like, whatever family line, like protective, controlling, calculating urge.
Well, I guess I wonder if we're going to get like a Violet's mom situation where she sacrifices herself type of thing.
I hope we don't. And I hope we don't, because this book is already too much like Fourth Wing. But we're about to get to the part where I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. All right. He's like, I'll kill her after the coronation.
Right.
Is what he says.
Yes.
So chapter 15, Meryn prepares for her highly anticipated coronation, forcefully dragging a weeping, blood-starved Selah out of bed because a princess simply must attend. She's not blood-starved. She's fine. They're feeding her
horse
things. And at some point in some chapter, because Anasa keeps hunting for her, like bringing her back elk to drain. At some point, Anasa says something that Meryn doesn't like, and she says, I hope you choke on an elk bone, which I thought was funny. All right. After Isabel
go, because Selah is like, I'm going to hurt somebody. I can't be around people. So, like, that's, again, like her real, genuine, sort of like innocent anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Isabel, Venna, and Neva help our girl boss queen into a stunning thigh slit blue gown. I love that they explain the thigh slits. Like, well, she needs to be able to get on her wolf. And it's like, oh, right. Meryn struts into the throne room and immediately refuses to perform the traditional naked prostration for the lecherous nobles. The creepy mother priestess anoints her with sacred oil while rocking a ring that perfectly matches the goddess tier opals. Just as Meryn is officially crowned sovereign of Nocturna, the heavy throne room doors violently burst open, interrupting the moment and making everyone reach for their weapons. Chapter 16, the dramatic interruption turns out to be 50 direwolves streaming in to officially vow to Anasa and Meryn, proving once again that wolves are the superior species. The ensuing reception is a total slog of erotic dancers and ass-kissing nobles, culminating in the mother priestess literally lunging at Sayla to steal her glowing necklace before Sigrid hauls her away. Meryn escapes to a snowy balcony where Stark joins her, delivering some painfully delicious sexual tension until Sigrid tragically cockblocks them. The buzzkill completely shatters when Meryn returns to the table and her bestie Isabel jokingly chokes down her royal goblet of Emberline, only to violently convulse and drop dead from a poison meant for the queen. I did not see this coming.
No,
I thought Venna was wearing a red shirt, not Isabel.
I didn't think this was so early.
That's what I wrote, actually.
You know, like this felt way too soon to lose what was set up to feel like going to be a major side character. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Oh, interesting. I really liked it. I didn't see it coming, and not a lot in these two books has really surprised me. And so I really appreciated that. I appreciated that it was like, well, we know the wolves can heal people, but the wolf was too far away, so she couldn't. I appreciated that the poison was meant for her, and I also appreciated that the person who poisoned her was not Killian. I knew something bad was going to happen at the coronation, but I thought it was going to be like Killian breaking through the bond in some way. So this really shocked me.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between shocked and thinking it was too early and question. Somewhere between, because like I like being shocked. I like a good death. This is great. But I'm like, this would be like losing Rhiannon so early, right?
That's really funny.
What?
Exactly.
I said that to Tristan. That's really funny.
Oh, so I really thought this something was going to go with Thomason for a while, right? Like they were like bigging them up. And I guess we'll learn about it in like a chapter or so I'll jump ahead, but we don't really just lose Isabel. Like we also lose Thomason now because he's like, I fucking hate you.
Venna as we knew her.
Right. So, if this is, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's fine. Like if this is a trilogy, this is that point in the middle where it's like our main character loses everything type of thing, and has to figure it out. But I was shocked and liked it and was like, oh man, I almost wish it was at the end of the book.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be big mad if this ends up being Venna's villain origin story.
No,
I don't think so.
It's Venna being her own person.
Yeah.
Origin story.
And we're back. Not that you know that we took a break, but just wanted to let everybody know that we had to stop real quick. So I did pause it. I'll clip these two together later, but hopefully it's seamless.
All right. Chapter 17. Meryn watches Isabel die and completely snaps, letting her untamed shadow magic entirely possess her in a grief-fueled blackout. She magically barricades the ballroom doors and violently interrogates the servant who served the poisoned wine, discovering that the slimy counselor Gerhold ordered the hit for Killian. Like, not on behalf of Killian. We don't.
No,
think.
for him, because I support him.
Like long live the king.
Right.
When the counselor proudly declares his treason, Meryn accidentally unleashes a massive lethal wave of darkness that brutally slaughters him, his wife, and his two sons right at their dinner table. Horrified by her own homicidal loss of control, she scrambles to play it off as a calculated warning to the terrified nobles before finally breaking down in Venna's arms. Again, we're seeing morally gray Meryn. Like, she is... And in both times, she's like starting to snap, and she is egged on by a subtle nod from Stark.
I have a question. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. And again, not that I agree, but just because I like playing devil's advocate. yes, Killian as a relationship partner is the worst. However, here's my question.
He's not the worst, but he's not good.
He's not good. Here's my question. Why shouldn't he be the king? Why are they wrong for siding with him? I mean, it's again. I'm just like,
right. Well, I think it's complicated because he's descended from a usurper,
right?
And she's descended from the rightful queen.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, this is generations later,
right?
I think the truth is that having rulers determined by birth and not by merit is stupid. So, like, there is no, like, I do understand why people would side with him, except for the fact that she has shown them that he's a Siphon and they're fighting the Siphons, which is like, okay, so is the whole war fake? And then, like, why are we losing our friends and loved ones to this war?
Right. Well, that's why, like, that cognitive dissonance, they're like, oh, well, he can't be a Siphon because we've been in war with them for centuries, and so therefore Meryn is lying to us. Yeah.
You don't look convinced.
I'm not. And I think it's good. Like, now I'm questioning it because it's all about this whole morally gray thing. Like, I could be wrong. But like, Meryn's killed more innocent people than Killian has at this point.
Well, Killian's dad, like, killed children for their blood.
I'm talking about,
know.
Hold on. I'm talking about.
I know, but
go ahead.
Killian is a Siphon, so we don't know how he's been consuming blood. We don't know how long he's been a Siphon. We don't know how he's been consuming blood. We don't know anything about that. But the assumption, I think, is if he's a Siphon, he has also murdered people for their blood.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm saying maybe because her sister didn't. And Killian had always been like, my dad's way is wrong. And I just enjoy I just really enjoy, like, playing devil's advocate times.
No, I'm not.
So
I'm not mad.
I don't know. Like, Meryn should have killed these two kids right now. You know?
I have two thoughts. One, we haven't talked about whether the engagement bracelet has any, like, additional impact back on her other than just, like, stemming some of the flow of her magic, so she's not able to access all of it. So I wonder if there is sort of some influence there that is actually coming from Killian also. And then the other thing I wonder, because they are framing this as, like, she's getting these sort of, like, nods or signals from Stark, and so he's actually sort of, like, partially egging her on in these moments. And we don't know anything about his sire. And was Stark's sire a Siphon? So he also has a little bit more of this, like, violent and different morality.
The only other thing, like, interesting, and also the only other thing I would add is that in both of these instances, but really here, she talks about, like, tapping into this predatory wolfish nature. And so I think what she's feeling, this, like, bloodlust, is partially a wolfy thing. And so the approval from Stark reads to me as Kratos' approval to Anasa rather than Stark's approval to Meryn. But I don't know.
Cool.
All right, chapter 18. At Isabel's heartbreaking funeral, the grief turns entirely toxic when Thomasin publicly blames Meryn's ambition for the murder, and his wolf Philikos literally tries to rip out her throat. Stark and Kratos immediately body slam the traitor, forcing Meryn to relieve Thomasin of his duties, while her own guilt eats her alive. Back at the depressing council meeting, Meryn tries to apologize for massacring the counselor's family, though Sigrid casually points out that the bonded forces actually respect her unhinged, violent retribution. The political nightmare gets infinitely worse when a sickening mental rip tears through the kingdom's network, revealing that the entire Phylax pack has officially defected to Killian's side. The other thing that happens in this chapter is that as a council, they need to name a new chancellor of the district where the traitor was the guy from Meryn's, like, hometown. So Meryn temporarily names her mentor Igor as the interim chancellor because Sigrid is like, it has to be a noble. And she's like, all right, well, we don't know where the nobles stand. And so it's Igor.
Yep.
But she's like, it's fine. He can just do it temporarily, but like, he's not going to do it temporarily.
Yeah.
She's starting to uproot the power systems in place. Yeah, the Phylax defected. That was surprising to me.
Yeah, and I was a little confused as to how or to why, and we'll find out soon.
Well, it was the Phylax Alpha who went to Killian, and then he defected instead.
Yeah, I guess we can talk.
This is how it, there's like, they're creating again sort of like this tension and wondering about Sigrid because she was the one who named him to go to Killian and then also was like, oh, he's got it. It will be fine. He's going to do exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm curious how it pans out, like what the reasoning is to how they got him to defect,
Yeah.
I wonder
I
wonder if they turn him to a Siphon. I don't know.
Maybe. And it's also like, we find out in the next chapter, it's like only the Alpha needed to defect. And then everyone else had to listen to their Alpha. So in chapter 19, we switch to Stark's POV, and he's completely furious that the entire Phylax pack has defected to Killian, leaving the kingdom's crucial farming town of Weisenstadt totally unguarded. I thought this was interesting, that it was like, that's where all the wheat is from. I was like, oh, okay. While watching Noemi depart, Stark deliberately lets Meryn believe they are romantically involved to protect her, even though he secretly just considers Noemi family. During a tense war council, Sigrid ruthlessly orders a terrified, untrained Meryn to immediately deploy to Weisenstadt to defend it from the incoming Siphons. Stark completely loses his mind at his mother, confronting Sigrid in private to accuse her of having blood on her hands, and aggressively vowing to protect Meryn from her toxic manipulation. We've yada 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 over the bisque here. What is happening is Noemi is a Phylax. She's part of the Phylax pack, and so she has to resist her Alpha. And so Killian is like, reaches out mentally to Meryn and is like, help. And Meryn rushes over and commands Noemi to stay loyal to her because a queen is the only person who can outrank. I guess I guess like Stark's mom could technically outrank one of the pack alphas, but the queen like mega outranks the pack alphas.
Right, in terms of like telling them what to do.
And Meryn is like, I'm so sorry, I don't want to be the kind of queen that commands people to do things, but Stark told me to.
Yeah, so she, saved her from having to go and join the usurper.
Yeah. And so Stark says something like, I wonder if anybody else was able to resist the Alpha. So we don't know. We don't know how, like, we think the whole Phylax pack defected, but it is possible that some other Phylax rebels exist.
Yep.
Chapter 20, Meryn finally succumbs to her exhaustion and gets sucked back into the Shadow Realm, where a smirking Killian tries to seduce her into ruling by his side and claims the Phylax pack joined him out of duty. Waking up in a terrified panic, Meryn finally drops her walls and confesses everything to Stark, terrified she's losing her mind just like her mother did. Editor's note, her mother didn't lose her fucking mind.
No.
In an incredibly, I thought we were all on the same page here, Meryn. In an incredibly swoony move, Stark declares his actions aren't driven by duty or the mating bond before climbing in bed to hold her, his physical touch acting as an anchor that finally grants her a dreamless sleep. Renewed and ready for action, Meryn leads Stark, Venna, Noemi, and a stubbornly persistent Sayla on a desperate ride toward the war front, leaving the castle behind. He says something that I liked. She's like, I don't want you to stay because you're duty bound, and I don't want you to stay because the mating bond tells you to. And he says, I see you, Meryn Stormfrost. I see who you are and who you could become. It's about the hope you give me for a better future for our country and my selfish desire to bring it to fruition. I choose to serve at your side because I want that. So tell me what you need, because it's very late at night and I'm running short on patience. I loved it. I was like, this is my kind of declaration of loyalty. It's very practical, but it's also like, I see you for who you are. I've been surrounded by toxic leadership my whole life, and I see that you could be something different. And I liked that. But he's still Stark about it. So he's like, we don't have fucking time for this.
Forgot this note. They didn't mention it there. He's not Stark about it. He's, what's his name? All Stark?
Val Stark.
What's his name?
Alice
Stark?
Is it All Stark?
I don't know.
It's Val Stark.
Val Stark? Is that his name?
Val Stark. It's Val Stark.
Right. What did I wrote? My note was, so I read ahead. So once I got to the end of our chapters, I took all of my thoughts down. So I had this ready. I wrote,
remember.
All Stark? What's his name? I feel this wasn't necessary. Someone must have read Brimstone, Stark, Greystar, Finvara.
It was not necessary.
It was not necessary.
I think the function of it was meant to be to show that he and Noemi have a bond.
Right.
That is old and deep, and that is going to create some jealousy with Meryn. But again, they told us too quick that she's gay, so I'm not worried about our girl. I like Noemi.
Go ahead.
Worried about our girl yet.
What?
Never worried about our girl. Like, even the way they framed it, I mean, like, clearly, like, Stark is, the yearning is intense here.
And he keeps being like, is it the bond? And it's like, no, bro, you love her. Like, what are we doing?
And the first thing that he said, like, in his mind or to Kratos about Noemi was, I can't wait to hold her. But, like, it was very much like, I can't wait to hug her.
It was, when he talked
like, caress her and have her in bed. It was like, clearly.
And that is not how he's talking about Meryn.
Right.
To Kratos or to himself. And the way, like, when Meryn, like, confronts him about it, he says, I love her. And then he says, it's not a lie. Because it's not.
Right.
He does love her. That's his little sister. His lesbian little sister. I'm going to be pissed if she's not gay.
Yeah, you will be.
I'm going to die on this hill. All right, Rick, tell us your other thoughts.
Similarly how you just said, like, her mom wasn't crazy. I thought we were on the same page. At the end of the first book, I thought Stark and Meryn were good. Like, he like kneeled to her and was like, "You're my queen." But it felt like we went back into, like, they're angry at each other again. Even though, I don't know.
I think what just happened here is she doesn't want anyone to be she wants everyone who's with her to be with her on their own free will. She doesn't want to be someone who compels people to do things. She's very sensitive to manipulation because she has been manipulated by Killian. And so she doesn't want him there because of the mating bond, and she doesn't want him there because it is his sworn duty. She wants him there because he wants to be there. And now we know he wants to be there. They're also just like, he's grumpy.
Yeah.
And violent. And so, like, that's going to show up. But I thought this actually solved that in a way that made sense to me.
Got any other notes, Kim?
No.
Okay. Where do we go from here? What happens next?
What happens next? Well, actually, this chapter ends. So they're on a journey. Sayla had to come with them. She didn't want, like, Meryn didn't want Sayla to come. Sayla was like, you can't leave me locked up. But then Sayla starts to get hungry. And so they pull over. They tell everybody it's because Sayla needs to pee. But it's actually because Anasa needs to go hunt for her. While she's going to hunt for her, Sayla's freaking out. And she's like, you're not going to be able to cure me. There's no cure for Siphon. You're just going to lock me away forever like you tried to do now. And then somebody shows up and has a knife to her neck and is like, there you are, you little bitch.
Mm-hmm. You fire-breathing bitch queen.
You fire-breathing butch queen. So I don't know what's going to happen next. I guess they're about to have some confrontation. The gang's split up, right? So she's not going to be with Stark, which makes sense because we're getting multiple perspectives. So they're going to be in two different places. I will say, just like, this is not a what happens next, but I'm loving the slow burn. I'm loving the yearning. We got soup quite quickly in Direbound. And Killian's blonde, right? Isn't Killian blonde?
No, because he's described as having darker skin.
No, Stark.
Oh, yes.
Stark has darker skin.
Right, because that's what
he has chestnut skin. But Killian's blonde.
Killian's blonde.
Right. So we had a soup scene early on with a blonde guy. And so I was like, this isn't the soup. There's a shadow daddy over there. A shadow nephew, at least. And so I am enjoying that they're really making us, Sable and Sorensen are really making us wait for the Stark and Meryn soup. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's funny. So you convinced me that this girl's gay in this episode. I guess in my notes that I didn't think she was gay. So like I was like, "Where's the soup? We're 40% into this book. Where's the soup?" And then I said, "Are we gonna get soup with Stark and Noemi?" Was her name Noemi? Noemi.
And
We're not, but that was my question, and I was like, "Does that mean we get it from Stark's point of view?" Which I was like, that'd be a.
we got soup from Fisher's point of view in Brimstone, right?
I don't remember.
I think we have at least one soup scene that's from Fisher's point of view.
But at this point, yeah, no, I'm actually with you. That's not going to happen. But waiting for the soup.
And we get soup from. Do we get soup from Cassian's point of view in Court of the
Yes,
Silver
we do.
Pen?
We sure as hell do.
Yeah. So I appreciate when we're getting soup from
Different eyes.
multiple POVs. Yeah. Multiple POVs is what I just said.
There it is.
I did also, like you, Amanda, I clocked sort of like the second time we got a chapter that was Stark's perspective. I was like, they're too close together right now in terms of where the action is for this to like really be making sense. And so it's got to mean that they have some kind of separation of space and time later on.
Oh, look, I did write, we're going to swing for the fences. So that thought about Stark and Noemi. That wasn't like, that was just like a crazy guess.
Admit a deep, dark truth?
Yes.
I don't know what the idiom swing for the fences means.
Really?
I don't.
Oh, it means like I'm just gonna take like I'm going all out, trying to hit a home run. I'm not trying to get on base. I'm just trying to win the game. I'm not taking a safe swing, right? Like I could take a safe swing and be like, oh yeah, we'll get spice with Meryn and Stark soon. But like, let's go crazy, like let's.
You're gonna swing for the fences. Stark's not gonna swing for.
I'm swinging for the fences.
Okay. New deep dark confession. I did know what swing for the fences meant. Like what I assumed it meant is what it meant, but the way you just said it, I was like, do I not know what that means? And I've never investigated it because I just assumed it was a baseball metaphor. But it is, and I didn't. I thought you meant Stark was going to swing for the fences, not you were going to swing for the fences with your prediction. Yes. Follow me for more idiom unpacking.
We're aiming for the green monster.
Green monster.
Unheated rivalry night. We haven't talked about that because we haven't recorded in 3 weeks. Guys.
A girl.
My sister and I are going to heated rivalry night at whose fur is that?
Bartholomew. There was a tussle a few minutes ago.
Yikes. My sister and I are going to heated rivalry night at Fenway on late August, whenever it is. If you're going, let me know in the comments, in the email. We can take selfies in our jerseys. Tell me which jersey you're trying to get. You trying to get Hollander? You trying to get Rosanov? I'm trying to get Rosanov. Because Boston.
Yes. The Boston Bears.
That's who they are in the book.
Of course they are.
In the show.
The Boston Bottoms.
No.
The Tennessee Tops.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Power Bottoms.
Probably.
Those things are all terms I know.
Do you have any other predictions?
Yeah, I told you. I think that the what's his name? The Phylax. No, the Kryptos guy. I think he was turned venom, and they'll probably have to kill him.
Sorry, I'm watching Tristan unpack all of the most unhinged things that you guys saw me purchase on Amazon for Spirit Week. And with everything he takes out of the box, he's like, so confused. I ordered the dumbest stuff. Sorry, carry on.
I am curious about how quickly Killian comes back into the storyline. Largely thinking about, like, I guess we're all sort of assuming this is a trilogy, but do we know if it's going to go further than that?
I think it's a trilogy.
They've confirmed that it's a trilogy.
Okay. And so it's just sort of thinking about like the full arc of what the story is like how soon is too soon, I guess, for Killian to be back on screen.
Yeah.
So
I think because we had the Shadow Realm, it was okay that they were still like communicating,
right,
but not in physical space and time together. But like something's about to happen because now she can't. She's protected from the Shadow Realm when Stark is around, but now she's about to be separated from Stark. So I don't know. I think so I think that will reopen her. I don't think it's Killian who's captured her. It's somebody who's going to like hold her for ransom or something. And because she's away from Stark, she's going to be back to the Shadow Realm. And that's how we're going to get Killian. But then Stark's going to rescue her. And so she's going to be back with Stark. And then Killian isn't going to show up again until the end of the book. 80% is what I say.
There you go.
Yeah, I think Killian will show up at the end of the book with like the person who actually turned her sister Venom.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think we know who that is? Like, do you think we've met him, her, them?
Let's Amanda, let's swing for the fences. It's Sigrid.
I know what that means.
I think it's Sigrid.
You think who did?
Sigrid.
Oh, Sigrid. It would make sense if she had been like continuing the war,
right?
Intentionally, if she was pro Siphon.
So that's what I'm thinking.
We also haven't talked about how fucking weird the Mother Priestess is.
Dude, and she's lusting after those opals.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck is going to go on with her? That's a whole big like area that we have not explored.
She's like, Meryn's not a true believer, but Meryn, like when she's during her coronation, there's this moment where she has to like humble herself before the goddess, and theoretically the goddess would like smite her. And she's like, that's how I know the goddess isn't real, because she would have smote fucking Daddy Killian.
Right.
Which is true. That guy sucked. Like, not Alistair in him, like him alone
sucked.
Was like womanizing underage girls. Like that guy sucked. Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting take on like why she's not a true believer.
Let's swing for the fences. Mother Priestess, not a bad guy. She knows some secret shit that's going to save the war.
You really want everyone to be a Jedi or a Sith, but there's like this whole book is showing us that everybody's gray. I don't think we're putting people in two categories here.
Let me live my life.
I think she's bad. I just don't think we know how, like in what way she's bad. Like there's this whole religious piece again that, as I've said, we haven't really explored. And I'm curious to see what that means and like who the fanatics are and how that plays out.
I'm trying to read her lips.
What did I say?
I don't know. I said I was trying to read your lips. I teach my students all the time. You can't do that. What have you been reading, guys?
Honestly, I've been so bad at reading. I listened to Vera Wong's
Unsolicited
Advice for Murderers. I enjoyed it. Early in the book, you get an explanation for Vera Wong as a name and how close it is to Vera Wang. So I really appreciated that. What?
It's not the same person.
It's not the same person.
Got it.
Yeah. But it's like it's not even a plot point, but it is like a little thingy. It's like a thing. So that's cute. I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't know that I'll read. It's a series. I don't know that I'll keep reading them, but like they're cozy mysteries and I enjoyed that genre. And I liked it as an audiobook too, because it's a fun listen. So I found a new genre of audiobook I could listen to, not just dumb romances, but also cozy mysteries. And I am just trudging my way through All the Light We Could Not See, which I am enjoying, but it's really like poetic and literary. And so it's really hard to binge. And it's long, which is like why I'm reading it, to get that Goodreads reward. I didn't read like at all in Europe at all. I slept almost completely both flights. And at one point, at the end of the return flight, which I always forget every year is like 9 hours long, at the end of that 9-hour flight, I kept trying to read, and Mary, who'd been asleep the whole goddamn time and was awake and decided she wanted to talk to me. I picked up my book, and at one point she closed my Kindle and was like, "You're done trying to read. You're talking to me now." It was literally what she said. And I was like, girl.
Love it.
And then she apologized like 20 minutes later. But I was like, no, it's too late. I'm done trying to read. You're talking to me now.
Kimberly?
What's everyone else reading?
I likewise have not read all that much. It has been a really stressful couple of work weeks, and also stressful cat weeks. Cats are getting better. Work's getting better. Everything's getting better. So I read Shield of Sparrows and really enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to getting back with those friends after finishing Direbound.
I want to give a shout out to Kim and everyone else who works in college counseling everywhere in the world for making it to May 1st. You did it. The kids, they're going places.
They did it, guys.
Which is really exciting. What percentage of the year was I involved in this work this year? Like 30. So I feel 30% of that joy. But I'm relieved for you that you've made it to May 1st.
We did it.
Ricardo?
Let's see. I've read during this time that we've last recorded, I have read book 2.5 of Road of Bones. I then read book 3 of Road of Bones, Dawn of the North. Both were really well. Part 3 I liked a lot, 4 stars. I then read, on Kim's recommendation and Gemini's, Murderbot, book 1, and it was a fine book. It was a book that existed that had a robot. That's it. That's all I got. And then I read Shield of Sparrows, which was incredible. That book I gave 5 stars. I love that. Everything about that book. The last 15 to 20% of that book is unreal. It
wasn't even that much. It's like 10%. Like the last 30 minutes of that book, I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
what has just happened?
It was unbelievable. I then started the next one. I think I'm only like 4 chapters. 3. I think I only read the first 3 chapters. So I'm just definitely gonna just restart it once I finish Direbound. I also realized that I don't track my audiobooks. I just listen to them. So I've been listening to I'm Glad My Mother Died by Girl.
Jeanette McCready or something?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
How is that?
It's really good. It's really good. Her mother's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like seeing some of the story on Twitter back in the day, but I haven't read the book.
The only audiobooks I really listen to, I'm like really picky. It needs to be like an autobiography, and I really kind of need it to be read by the person. So it's like I want them to talk to me and tell me their life. That's it. That's what I've been up to.
We did it, guys.
What's our homework?
Recorded. Your homework is to read chapters 21 through 40. We're going to keep it simple. 20, 20, and 20. So chapters 21 to 40, which will theoretically get you to like 75% of the book.
Probably 80.
It's not going to be 80. That's what we're doing.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.